have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an update of stuff that I've been doing. So we have a mower that's, I discussed that on my other channel. If you want to check that out, it's Fox Boss 9 is the other channel, and it's the small engine stuff that I do. I had a tune-up yesterday. I have a golf cart that's coming in, I don't know, within a few days here. I want to see what we can do about that. I don't normally work on golf carts, but it's a small engine, and I'll take a peek at it. It's a friend of mine. But I did do a lot of work on this truck the other day, and of course, this is the tow vehicle for the camper, so I thought I would include some of this information. This is a battery isolator. I still haven't hooked it up, and it's been on here for a couple years. I used an old section of tailgate panel from a Ford, so the paint matched, but I made this bracket some time ago, and I just haven't bought the cable. It's like 4 gauge, and I've got to run it back quite a ways to my winch that's in the bed. So what I did on this, I removed this cold air intake and the mass airflow meter, and I cleaned the mass airflow meter. There's a special spray that you need to buy for that. Don't use just carburetor cleaner. There could be some issues there. But then what I did also was repaired a vacuum line that used to come all the way out to here, and then it routed back and went to this little pod to change the amount of heat that's going in the truck. Now, it's always worked to some extent, but this thing was just is deteriorated. So anyways, I cut the bad part off out here because whatever was exposed was bad, and pulled it through here, then cut a little notch in the convoluted tubing, and put the fitting on the end, and now that's good. Clean the EGR valve. I have a penny with a 1/8 inch hole drilled in that's in here to help with the power. Takes and recirculates a little less air. Put a new vacuum line on here for the vapor deal. Took the idle air control valve off, cleaned it extremely well. The throttle body was completely off. I cleaned that really well. That thing was gooked up a little bit, and then I stuffed a couple rags way up inside my intake here, and then I cleaned the front part of the intake really well, and then pulled those rags out, obviously, and it runs a lot smoother. However, I still have the slightest, tiniest little miss. So the next thing I need to do is clean these fuel injectors out. That's not such a big deal. It's just that I need a canister to put some powerful cleaner through the injectors, because I want the engine to run off the injector cleaner. But getting into the RV, that's what we're going to go look at next. I want to show you what I've got going on, and see if you guys might know, or maybe I might be able to find out what's happening. So let's go check that out. All right, so I've got a little bit of a rig job going on here. I don't expect this to take very much pressure to lift up, but I've got this old jack that we've had around forever. It's a really good piece of antique that I seem to use all the time. And what I'm going to do is try to lift this corner to show you what I'm talking about. There's the gap. And again, I can put my pinky in there easily, and then on this end over here, I can't at all. So I mean, it just keeps on getting smaller. You can see here, this line right here. So let's see what's going on. And it don't look like it's really making that much difference, does it? So maybe this back corner's okay. And I need to get a little bit closer to the door. So let's try that. So I'm lifting underneath the steps. Let me reposition the camera so you can see here. You can see I'm just lifting the corner of the steps, and I can tell that that gap did get a little bit smaller there. All right, so yeah, I don't know exactly. You can see this gap. It's getting smaller. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. Just out of curiosity, let's see what happens if I lift it back on the frame itself. Yeah, see, I don't really see, I mean, the gap did go away. I can't put my pinky in there at all. Let's see if it increases. Yeah, so it has something to do with the trailer's angle. You know what? It could be that this thing is just not level enough. I mean, if I think about it, these tires have all sunk. The boards that they were on have warped over the winter. The ground got soft over the winter. So it could just be that this thing's on some sort of a bind. Although the levels show that it's relatively level, it could be that I need to pull this camper forward, reposition it, and put all new wood underneath of it and get it back up to the way it was. I think that's what I'll do. All right, so I'm running into a little bit of a problem. I forgot that I took my hitch apart because I needed some nuts for another project last year in the fall. So I'll show you what I'm into here. These nuts had to be purchased to replace the ones that were on there, and now I have to retorque these. So I can at least hook up my hitch just to move my camper. I do have another hitch back there. I don't know if you can see it. I was trying to sell it. It's just a fixed hitch. It's a weight distribution, but you can't lower it, raise it, do nothing like that. And some people, they don't need to. That's the right height for them. Possibly I could just go ahead and slip that in my truck just to get this thing moved. I might do that. I think I'm going to take that old hitch over there. I'm going to slide it in the receiver, put a pin through it, and see if I can move the camper. So let's do that. All right, so I've got that hitch in there. Now, two things. The truck's going to be a little loud, but I've got extra audio, so you'll be able to kind of hear what's going on. And the ground is so muddy. It's really, really bad. So I don't know how this is going to work out. So anyways, let's go ahead and set this up so you can see a little bit. I might have a camera slightly crooked, but you'll get the idea. Yeah, I hear you. I don't think there's going to be any cops that are going to be checking me out here. Yeah, this is going to be kind of interesting because I'm pulling into a part of the yard that is so bad. So I might sink with my front tires. Ugh, it's so soft. That's close enough for me. Let's see if we can get this thing up in the air. All right, let's crank this baby up. That's got to be really close. Let me go. Let's check that out there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and lower it down. I only plan on going up just a little bit. So the other thing that we're trying to fight with here is a storm's coming through. So I'm trying to beat the storm. So let's go ahead and pull this forward. First, I'm going to back it up a little bit to get a little bit more straight. Now let's pull it forward. Now it's starting to rain. I don't want the camera to get wet. Oh yeah, that raised it up quite a bit. Let's go look here. You can see they were on the backs of those boards, and those boards had dropped quite a bit. Now they're up further. The front ones probably aren't on a board yet. Yeah, those are just on the ground, but the only reason I put wood underneath there is because it was going to be all winter long. Still, I can see that that gap has increased, and it looks like this piece here is coming apart, causing some of that problem. But the problem's up here where it interferes. You can see it's not opening. Apparently that didn't really correct the whole problem, but it did get the camper a little bit more level. I know that over winter it started drooping quite a bit, so we'll go ahead and leave this baby here. I've got some wheel chocks. I'll show those in a later video. I'll show you how I made them. They work really well, and they were cheap. They weren't expensive at all. I'll also show you for some of the other YouTube channels. You guys have been discussing how you have a problem with rattling on your hitch. I can show you how to make something that will stop the rattling. However, you can buy them relatively cheap if you don't want to make them, but nonetheless, I'll do a video on that in the future, showing you that. So that's good. I think we're okay. I will take this thing off of the hitch and level front to rear again. And you can see what I was doing to the yard there. That's not too bad. If I would have gone a little bit further right into there, it's really soft there. All right, so let me go ahead and unhook this thing, level it out front to rear, and I'll come back. All right, so I've got the camper set up. It's level, but what I'm going to try to do, and I'm laughing because there's a storm coming in. It's our first real thunderstorm. I'm going to take my little hammer and I'm going to try to hammer some stuff in the back there to try to make that work a little better. I adjusted that and it worked out a little better. The gap looks a little better at the bottom, but it's still hanging up top. Woo! Seems strange seeing this thing without all its crap in it. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap up here, which I'm not real keen on doing because it's not, I don't know, it's not right, tell you the truth. Yeah, well, it's not hitting anymore. It didn't need very much, but, well, that works. Let me go ahead and lock that deadbolt. I'll leave this hammer and screwdriver here just in case. I've got plenty of tools. And back in the camper. I don't have any electric hooked up, so it's dark. I need to bring out my lanterns. 66 degrees inside and 78% humidity, which it's really humid outside. Let's check the toilet, make sure there's still liquid in there. Yeah, that seal's worked really well. I'll tell you, I know that people have problems with their toilet seals, and knock on wood, I might have in the future, but as it stands right now, I'm in really good shape. It's done really well. Leave that door open slightly, and we definitely have to stitch that. Something else to do. So let's go ahead and get out of this baby. Oh, I gotta put those steps out one day. I've got to fix this striker plate. I made this striker plate, and yeah, it's pretty well doctored up. But the thing is I need to cut out even more for the deadbolt, and I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to buy the right one, because this is as much as I wanted to cut into this thing. Really, all I need is this piece right here to help the door shut, because when we're camping, we always take a little bit of soap or something, or vegetable oil, and just rub it on this edge or right here to give it the lubrication it needs to shut. Because, I mean, we're slamming it. People don't want to hear that when they're camping. Another thing, if you guys have these type of doors, occasionally go ahead and snug up the screws. Now, with that said, don't over tighten these screws because it will pull right into this pressed foam. It'll pull it right into it. It'll squeeze it and make it to where it's unmanageable. It'll actually cause problems. Oh, here comes the rain, which is obvious. So let's go ahead and lock this door. Oh, the rain's coming down. And that one's already locked. Woohoo! Look at the storm. My camera's getting wet. Woo! Got caught in the rain. This is our first real thunderstorm. We've had rain, but this is a thunderstorm coming through. You can see this makeshift ditch that I got going on. Well, I don't know if it'll work, but it's worked so far. Okay, so hear the thunder. Thunder don't bother me. It's the lightning that does. I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the stuff that I'm starting to do to get the camper where it needs to be. And I can't wait. I can't wait till we're out camping in this stuff. When you're at the house, it just kind of is annoying because you're stuck in the house. Maybe I'll get some of this stuff done. Maybe I'll get this video uploaded. I appreciate you watching. Click like or subscribe, and we'll get more on just like this. Much better, tell you the truth. I'm just trying to fill some video, give you updates, and let you know where we're standing. And wow, I forgot that hitch was still on my truck. Oh well, we'll just leave it there. Woo, that was a close one. Of course, the small engine stuff has started. Oh yeah, blow your horn. Why not? I've been waiting 0.2 seconds for that light. Traffic out here is crazy. I don't know why so many people are impatient, but they are.